Welcome back to Worlds 2020, where Europe's Mad Lions and Oceania's Legacy Esports are squaring off. It is the young LEC representative, and it seems to struggle under the pressure, or at least they do. So it gives us a reminder of what led them here in the first place. Like, Mad Lions blew up on the LEC stage. When I came for a couple of weeks visit, everyone was singing their praises. Rookies gonna win the season. But my question actually is that for Mad Lions, the analysts and the community seem to want to see them return to that flair, that scrappy style that was, you know, their strong suit. Is it easier said than done, though?
It definitely is easier said than done. Even when they started out into the scene, like this year, they had a couple of struggles in the beginning of the season, then found the grasp of the meta, then understood what they had to do, and then they beat G2 in a best-of-5 to begin with.
Right.
So that in itself was incredible. And I think what happens now is simply that the pressure's maybe getting to them a bit too much, and that whole flexibility of that, like their play, their draft, is just getting lost a bit under that pressure. And I think it's hard to pinpoint exactly what has to happen for that to change. But honestly speaking, maybe just rewatch your old VODs, something like that.
Right. I mean, Yamato, just to hear your stance on it, you know, Mad Lions, in a way, how can they get those 5 people who are sitting down, plugging in a mouse and keyboard in Shanghai to play like they did when they were in their the comfort of their Berlin team house?
No, it's tricky because we don't really know what issue that is honestly plaguing them. Is it nerves on the stage because it's something that we haven't seen in a long time, or is it just not figuring out the meta properly? I think the best shape of Mad Lions that I've ever saw was when Kaiser and Shadow forced skirmishes together and supported Humanoid's animalistic playstyle, where he always forces trades and flashes in. And I think that 3v3 was always something that teams, even the highest rated teams in Europe, had to fear because you didn't know what to expect. But right now, that is just completely gone. That synergy is gone because they're doing the farm junglers, bot lane is isolated and not just working as a team.
But unfortunately, if their win conditions hinge on taking a risk and taking initiative, I imagine that's going to be dulled with the additional pressures of Worlds. I mean, that's a conversation I'd love to have. Unfortunately, time is of the essence, so let's remind you of their opponents as well. It's Legacy. Will they find the confidence they need to exploit these mistakes and gaps in Mad Lions' play?
There's a possibility, especially after day one. We had the interview with Tally, where we talked about them being confident in the chaos that these games bring. I think they have a good shot because they are not afraid to do anything. And honestly, what do they have to lose? They come from a relatively small region. They're playing against the 4th seed of the EU. So honestly speaking, there's nothing they can do wrong, basically, and they can only succeed. Yeah,
absolutely. And Oceania, you know, they have been, and as Spawn's words, a bit of a farm region for that talent. So it's nice to see another set of 5 names taking to the Rift. Let's hand it back over, though, to our casters as we see LEC and OPL clash.
G'day, g'day! It's time for our second game of the day here, Crumbs, as Legacy, the boys from the OPL/OC, are going to be taking on Mad Lions, the 4th seed of the LEC, who have not had the start they would like to this Worlds 2020. And unfortunately for them, Crumbs, time is running out here.
Yes, and we get a very pretty contrast from our first game of the day, which just featured some of our most veteran teams and players at play-ins. Well, now we've got the rookies. We've got Mad Lions and Legacy, both teams just looking for the confidence, looking for what got them here in the first place, the ability to just play their own game, to not worry too much about where they're at, who their opponents are, and oftentimes that just means going back to comfort picks. We've seen already 2 games on the Evelynn from Shadow, moved away from it with the Hecarim, but this time around, I think we're just going to see a very standard look for both teams. What tends to happen when players feel unconfident is that you just give them the simplest to execute compositions that they've run with before. Not a lot of intricacies, just point and click engages, make it so simple to identify and execute your win conditions that you are just bound to feel like the world is your oyster.
All right, well, Champ Select has already begun, so we'll check in with the bands real quick. On the left, that is Mad Lions. On the blue side, Nidalee, Twitch, and Camille all taken out of the picture, and Humanoid getting picked on here. On the Legacy side, Akali, Orianna, and one more to come on their half. In fact, that's another mid lane band there, as Lucian's going to be taken out of the pool as well.
Trying to set up Tally for success here, and Humanoid has been the best player on the side of Mad Lions for planes, in my opinion, and so making sure that he gets put down is Legacy counting on the rest of Mad Lions to not have a great performance. We're going to see the Lillia first pick, but already taking some notes out of Group B is Legacy, locking in the Graves and the Ornn. Gonna have some insane team fighting here with the Ornn ultimate, with the smoke screen, as well as just having these ranged marksmen from the jungle. I wonder what Mad Lions' approach against this, because you could just take away a top lane pick here at the moment, and the Ornn was made even more accessible with the Camille being banned, so split pushing feels like it's out of the question here. We might just see teamfight meet teamfight from the side of Mad Lions.
Yeah, Syndra already locked in there for Humanoid. Looked quite good up against Jensen when they played Team Liquid, at least in the laning phase. Wasn't really that was not really the problem at all for Mad Lions in that game as it played out. And it is cool to see Topoon on here. We've seen, you know, his Camille already this tournament. We know about his Renekton. Certainly in the Legacy lineup, he tends to, you know, get ahead and then transfer his advantages to the bottom lane, and they win through bot in the later stages of the game. But Ornn, not quite the same champion that can get lane dominance, although it can certainly outplay your opponents and be very good in almost all situations. But as you said, Crumbs, definitely playing for more teamfight here on both sides. It seems like Shen going to be picked up for Orome there in top lane, and Galio going to round things out in the mid lane for Tally.
Really like the Shen pickup right away. Otherwise, Legacy would have targeted the physical damage champions in the top lane that are tanks. Both Shen and Sion could have been options for Orome, maybe even the Wukong. Probably not so much, but that would have put Mad Lions in a really tough spot, because you don't want to pick an AP top laner when you already have Syndra and Lillia. So Mad just have to pick as much physical damage now as possible to make sure that the itemization is not that easy from the side of Legacy. And on the Australian side, from OC's lineup, Galio, a little bit of a question mark here, Pastry. I know that Galio has been really important for a lot of teams before Worlds here, but the champions that synergize best with him, like Camille and the Jarvan, they're just not being around anymore. You know that Legacy doesn't have that right now, so I think that they're looking for something like potentially a Rakan, something like a Twitch, but it's already banned. So I think that the Galio might not get as much value as you like if you're not having a target that can get into the backline and immediately lock you down.
Yeah, a ton of bottom lane attention actually in this draft, especially in phase 2. Jhin, though, going to be the lock-in by the looks of things here for Raes, with Kalista, Pantheon, Senna, and Caitlyn all getting banned away from the bottom lanes here in phase number 2. Not wanting to delay picking their AD any longer, so Carzzy going to fall down to, I don't know what champion, I guess we'll find out as Raes takes the Jhin away.
Interesting to see no Ashe priority here from either of these teams. Just such a valuable pick. Instead, we'll just lock in the Jhin, who does get a ton of value against champions that don't want to dive you right away. Syndra and Lillia are not going to be able to just jump on top of Jhin wherever they want. So no Ashe at all. It's just going to be the Ezreal locked in, trying to kite away from the engage that Legacy could throw at them. But the blind or support can be tricky here. Let's see what Legacy has in the support department for a counter pick here. A lot of teams have been getting a ton of value from last picking support. It's a really interesting switch from what you usually had seen, which is the support, the mid laners or the top laners being counter picked to have a solid matchup there. But I think that you can just go with something like a Leona here. You're going to have a fine matchup into the Nautilus, combos quite well with the engage, and you have somebody that can go into the backline and have Galio combo on top of you. So wouldn't be surprised if Legacy last pick Leona here.
Well, see what happens here. Niles, of course, the Rookie of the Year in the OPL, although was not the MVP of support. That one went to Ayla over at Order. However, very young, in general, very young on this stage especially. Ooh. So Alistar is the pick he's decided to go for here.
You wanted somebody to engage, you want somebody to take advantage of Galio going in, and it's also going to double down as a really powerful peel tool in case Mad Lions wants to engage onto you. Something like a Shen is going to have a really hard time against Alistar, because we just saw how Shen plays in the Team Liquid game earlier. You have somebody that is diving you. In this case, it might be the Lillia, somebody getting in your face to try to set up Shen's range for his taunt. Well, Alistar sees the target with the Stand United, headbutts them away, and suddenly your very long cooldown ultimate gets no value whatsoever.
Yeah, also kind of interesting to see, you know, where the power is being put for the Legacy lineup here. We've already seen Babip perform very well on these farming style junglers. Going to have Graves this go around, so he's certainly going to have a lot of the early game influence on the Legacy side. And also, you know, as always, Raes on this Jhin is going to be relied on here with a lot of support built around him with the Ali, the Galio, and the Ornn in top lane there for Topoon. Mad Lions on the other side, I think, have lots of different options here. Shen provides a ton of different strategic options once the map opens up. Syndra can take over games if she gets fed, and Humanoid's very good on that champion. Ezreal can be an absolute nuisance if he gets ahead and gets these items. So we'll see. And even Lillia, who has not had the highest success rate at this tournament, despite being extremely powerful, Crumbs. Shadow perhaps looking for some redemption here, because Lillia is a champion that you can take over a game with.
I just think that teams have not been playing Lillia the way that we had gotten used to her in the playoffs. We used to see her go for these Raptor invades, very aggressive level 1s, and now we're going to see an invade from Mad Lions. Let's see if Jhin sniffs it out. Doesn't have cleanse, so flash taunt, flash hook is a possibility.
Yeah, you gotta live. Good flash. Raes respects it. Whew. Alright, invade not done though. Mad gonna just keep walking in now to recall away.
So back on the draft though, we already saw what Shen is really good at. When you have a target that goes in, that surprises the enemy, that allows you to make an aggressive play. We always hit on this when there is a Shen available. You don't want to be using the ultimate to just save somebody, to prevent a play from happening from Legacy Esports. You want a play that allows you to outnumber the opposition and just get more gold for your team that way. There is no target that really does that well on the side of Mad Lions, so the Shen just feels more of a pick that has a tank and physical damage in the top lane, but not somebody that's gonna be popping off and making plays around the map like we saw from Team Liquid earlier. So I feel like that kind of missed synergy or not getting the most out of what you can from your champions could end up hurting Mad in this game.
I don't know, Crumbs. I'm excited for Rampaging Bambi here for Shadow. Perhaps to get in there with the help of Shen.
Bambi's revenge.
Got Dark Harvest as well, which is kind of a fun one. So we'll see. But certainly lots of options here as both junglers will be starting on the same side of the map. Red into Raptors there for Babip. And the blue leash help there from Orome. Shadow's going to clear his blue side Gromp into Wolves, as Tally has already eaten too much damage early on in this lane.
The junglers do have to start in the top side and go towards bottom because the Jhin does not have flash. You have a really scary possibility of starting to just feed down there in the bottom lane. And the mid lane, Syndra is just always going to be dominating the Galio. Galio is going to try to wave clear thus far. Doing a fine job CSing though. So just calm solo lanes and potentially some action in the bot side. It's just that Mad Lions really would like their ultimates to be able to engage, and with the level 1 Alistar that is pretty much non-existent in the laning phase, they're going to build up a big wave here. There is actually an opportunity for Mad Lions, if they want to be really aggressive, to dive them, right? You could set up such a large minion wave. The Lillia path is down here. You could even TP solo lanes in here and just really punish this Jhin.
Yeah, it's one of the things about Alistar that can often be tricky, especially in the early levels. He's just not very influential in the early stages of a 2v2 lane matchup, so Raes and Isles having to pay respect. Also, just a little, like a small note, every time I've seen Humanoid Syndra, I've been really impressed. His Dark Sphere placement is excellent, and that tower has already had to go back as a result of the early landing prowess of Humanoid, so shout-outs there for his so far so good Syndra play, as top lane going to be maybe a fun one, maybe just a farm one. Topoon versus Orome. There is certainly a lot, there's a lot of interplay in this matchup, lots of little things that can add up, as is often the case in top lane matchups. Unfortunately, when you only cut over there every minute or so, that tends not to show up, and you look back at the CS numbers and they're even, and you wonder what even happened in the lane. Trust me, they're doing stuff, just often when the players are both skilled, nothing results, unless Babip comes to visit the top lane, which he is currently doing, but Shadow's on that side as well, and I think he was just cheating there in case someone was thinking about doing something funny.
Oh, we'll go through vision though, so now the team knows where Lillia is at, and it's fine to show at this position because Shen is pushing top lane, but a TP.
Humanoid, I think. Yeah, there he is. Gonna look for the stun. There it is onto Isles. The heal is gonna get popped though. Ray's gonna protect his support, and a very aggressive play from Mad Lions, but kind of what they're known for. I like it. Looking to try and get feisty to pick up that first blood.
I love seeing the TP be used to just get back on the map, but also assist on a gank. It doesn't really get you that much besides the Alistar flash, which can make your lane a lot safer for potential Alistar ganks here. But we're just gonna have a nice little reset there out of Mad Lions, and everybody's just happy to push these waves and start getting advantages in the laning phase. It's what they've been doing so far, and it's a fine way to start the game as long as you can transition that into those dragons and potentially the Rift Herald. It's going to be a while for the Herald to come online, but at level 6 with the Shen stand united, you can expect Mad Lions to look for more attention in the bottom lane. No flash on the Alistar, has yet to hit level 6, no heal available. You'd really want to take advantage of this lane. Jhin has gone with the boost to try to kite away from what could be an onslaught from Mad Lions.
Yeah, got a full pots as well, so certainly understands the poke coming in, but he picks up a pickaxe there as he goes back. Same story there for Carzzy on the Ezreal. Babip is continuing to farm up, so is shattered. They're actually dead even on CS right now, as Kaiser will spot out Babip with a ward, but he's going to turn that one off with a control ward in the blue shrubbery.
That's such good vision. So I like that the control ward gets placed on the right side of mid lane there, and then the regular ward at the blue buff. That should allow them to have complete vision of what's happening in that jungle quadrant. So if you don't see that the Graves is there, you can go for those dives, you can continue to pressure them and have another avenue for a teleport potentially. So now they see where the Graves is at. Here we go, looking for maybe the Alistar. Jhin has flash though.
Yeah, Raes going to have to play this well, but Isles is going to be the target. He's got no summoners except the Ignite, and is going to get aggressed on the Ignite is down. That's going to be first blood over to Carzzy. But now Shadow going to get locked up here. Babip's going to try and trade it back. Here's the TP in from Legacy. It's Topoon looking unstoppable as he pops the Bellows Breath, and there's the ulti out onto the Ezreal. He goes, he's going to finish him up. Oh, he's lonesome. And there's the damage. Raes has it. There's the follow-up as Tally's joined in as well. And Legacy punch back for 2. Oh, it's a 2-for-2 trade. Never mind.
Oh, okay. The Ornn ends up going down. Shen doesn't get to channel his ultimate and teleport through, but everybody knew action was gonna happen in the bottom lane. They set a vision, everybody was prepared, and the TPs from Legacy were ready to respond, not willing to let their bottom lane go down without a fight.
An even trade of kills at the end of the day. A nice run from Tally there with the ulti, as at least both sides get some kills.
So Mad Lions can actually still press the advantage in the bottom lane. This is what I'd love to see about them. You just had so many summoners burnt. There's only a single flash left on the side of LGC. So we're going to look at this play once again, right? Alistar does a great job there blocking the hook there from hitting the Jhin, knowing that he is not as important as his AD, and then a nice little route with the TP. It is unfortunate for Legacy that this wave is so fat there. Otherwise, it would have been a lot easier for them to take out these members. Great combo from the Ornn, and then the Galio to both top things off there. Just a little reckless there from the Ornn. Oh, you hate to see it. Even flashing.
Yep, a little too spicy there. As, I guess just wanted to keep poking down the Nautilus, maybe thinking they could go for the dive, but alas, it is not to be, as Topoon does give his life away in bottom lane, but all's well that ends well, I suppose, as Topoon is back and farming happily. And both teams continuing to collect gold here in the early game. Nice and even still between the two. 200 gold up for Mad Lions. I mean, it's only 200 gold up for Mad Lions right now as the gold reflects crumbs. The game is even.
It is even. But Mad Lions have a way to get more out of this one with that teleport. Oh,
value.
Yeah.
Kaiser's like, I'm almost in range. You putting to sleep for me? Not gonna happen there.
But he chucked that over from the Herald. That was a long ways. That's a strike.
It is. As Soul Seed finds 2 there. Shadow gonna try and finish off the Rift Herald, as you mentioned, but Babip and Tally do have an inkling that this is happening. So it's going to be a 3v3 perhaps. Tally, he's got Predator boots. Quite spooky here as Galio on an ulti. They're going to go for it. Oh, that's a kill! In they go. The sleep is there, but it's too late for Shadow as Babip finishes it off.
She's so squishy. She cannot get in the face of these high damage champions. She just gets burst right away, even burning the flash out of that one. Shadow's having a rough tournament thus far. You want to see him have just the confidence to be able to play around Lillia, but so much of her kit is about just kiting away and towing between the lines of dying right away and just getting that movement speed off. And another fight into the bottom lane.
Oh, Isles, what a flash! He's going for the play! Onto Kaiser he goes, gets the restun there as it's the portal combat, but it's Isles that picks up the kill.
What an Alistar play! This is why they didn't go Leona. You can do Alistar and outplay your opponents here. Carzzy can just walk out of this one. He'll be fine. Has no flash or heal, so it could be in danger, but LGC is just going to back away. They know that the Stand United is already up. They can get a free dragon here, and they've already secured the Rift Herald as well, so they're going to have a fat turn of events. You're winning a skirmish and a Herald top, and another one in the bottom lane with the dragon. This is going to allow them to just continue to recover the Jhin and have him be in a fine position against a composition that's going to have a terrible time trying to dive him.
Yeah, really nicely played there for Isles, and the unfortunate Jhin classic there for Raes, where he can't turn the field of vision setting up any higher, as Carzzy is able to walk out of that ult nice and easily. But the dragon and that herald that you mentioned is nice for Legacy. They're up 700 gold or so, and could be a lot more if they get themselves some plates, which they should be able to do if they drop that herald at an opportune moment. Perhaps mid lane here for Babip, as he is on the way there. But Topoon also getting the wave going, and he's up pretty significantly in CS, actually. Despite, you know, the pressure that both the top laners have been applying where they can, Topoon's actually up almost 20 CS in that 1v1 matchup.
He's doing just fine. They're being able to contribute for quite a few team fights there. And Orome, unfortunately, just doesn't have a way to use the ultimate. I think the one time that we just saw could have been maybe onto the Nautilus, but it looked like a fight that Mad Lions was going to win. It was just an outplay from the Alistar at the very last minute to dodge out on the Ezreal ultimate. So they need to potentially look for another one of those plays. And ideally, you just corral the opponents into their own turret, and then you can dive in from multiple angles. It's not going to happen, though, as the Jhin has now recovered. He's totally fine in this lane. You can just keep the wave at the middle level, and you can't dive anybody from a wave at that position.
Yeah, the other thing here is that Tally's starting to get some traction here in this matchup. Humanoid is continuing to apply pressure and push turrets in, but Tally's got the blue buff. He can get out of the lane as Galio uses that ultimate, start to affect some other lanes. We already saw what he can do when he gets into the river and is able to pop Predator, which he does, of course, have those boots finished up already. So plenty of play here on both sides. As Topoon pushing the lane in, getting that deep vision, continuing to find not just individual leads here in the top lane, but trying to get vision and make it more. Here is Humanoid going to be the target of this mid lane gank. In goes Tally, but he's so low already. But here's the ulti out. Collateral damage is massive into the combo. Isles is going to get Humanoid asleep at the wheel, though, is Babip, and Shadow's going to get the trade. But it's going to be a second there for Legacy as Topoon storms in to pick up Shen.
Oh man, Galio survives with like single-digit HP out of that one. He barely lived through that one. Not having the aftershock makes him so squishy there, but still knowing the limits of what Predator has to offer, with the Merc Treads being able to survive just long enough from the crowd control of the Syndra. And that's a big turn pastry. That's another Stand United use that gets a negative fight for Mad Lions. Legacy is just having a great time here dealing with the Shen. Now the Ornn is even further ahead. The lanes continue to do fine, and that means that you're not going to have the Shen ultimate for the setup around the dragon. It hits, though. They can sleep this Jhin.
Nope, no ulti, no luck, but Raes still going to get locked up here. Here comes Carzzy. Raes is dead to rights, but the trade kill maybe for Isles. Shadow is low, but low's not good enough. That's going to be a second as Mad Lions actually maybe going to save the day as Tally, but it's a 1v3 now for the Galio. He's got no flash. He gave up his life to save the Alistar.
That's not worth it. Saving the Alistar. He's not a guy you want to save. Yes, he's got a spree, but the Alistar, out of all champions, should not be the one that you want to be using that Galio ultimate for. That's just an overstep out of LGC that Mad Lions completely punishes. The surprise to everybody was that the Shen roamed down there. He's lingered around from the play in the mid lane and still found a way to be useful there to turn things on Galio.
All right, well, minute 30 till the next dragon is up, and we'll have to watch Orome's cooldowns closely, because right now Topoon not only looking good in the 1v1, he's got a ton of play gold he's collecting all this CS from the very successful roam of Shen. But no TP, no globals right now for the Shen, so we'll see if that teleport's going to be back up by the time the dragon has spawned. But Topoon still having a great old time here in the 1v1 as Raes going to pick up the farm here in mid. And a minute out from that dragon, control wards everywhere for both sides. Babip's going to move into the jungle and start doing the setup for this objective.
This is an important crab to have as well. This is going to allow LGC to have complete mobility in the river. It's already setting up to be a good fight for them around this dragon now. Shen will have the Stand United, but again, the problem is, who do you ultimate that it will actually not only survive, but reliably put you in that position to get a nice taunt off? So it's going to be tricky to get this Shen into the mix here. As long as LGC can continue to control this vision, and they're going to do it a lot better now that the bottom lane is rotated into the mid lane, whereas Mad Lions still have their own. Pairing the Alistar in the mid lane here just gives him so much access to the rest of the map alongside the Graves. They see Kaiser flashing over, but they don't have the position to punish this control wars. If Mad Lions can just come in, clear out those double control wars, heck, if they can even get that triple one at the end of the river, they could just undo all the work that LGC has done and get themselves a positional advantage. Let's see if a war breaks out over these control wards.
Yeah, a lot of that vision cleared out already, so Mad now have control of the left side of this river towards mid. Babip is getting the sweeping happening, trying to clear out vision of his own Topoon. Right now on the left side of mid, could let the ulti rip if they want to try and get a pick before the objective.
Syndra does not have flash. They have a ward on her. I think she's the target they were looking for. Look at Alistar, always staying in flash combo range of the Syndra. That's who they have their eyes on. They can easily survive the combo against her. At least Ornn and Alistar can. Here they go, moving in for vision. Galio's not here yet, though. He would like to use his ultimate, not the teleport, to start these fights, and Shen is already rotating over. Both teams are very hell-bent on taking this dragon fight.
Yep, going to be almost all 10 in mid here. Isles going to be made drowsy. Kaiser going to attempt it. It's a Hex Flash attempt, though, so pretty low cost for him. Here's Topoon. He's seen the angle. Oh my goodness, Isles! There's the Galio ulti down as well, but everyone's splashed out of there. And a great triple stun for Humanoid on the other side. But Kaiser now going to be the target. Another great taunt there for Tally Legacy. Just need to find these few precious kills, but Babip is so low. Topoon's going to be the ulti out of Syndra, and Humanoid again. A triple stun to turn it back around for Mad Lions as Topoon is low, but will not fall.
Oh, Pastry, Mad Lions had an amazing disengage out of that one. Everybody flashing out. They saw what LGC was thinking about comboing in there, and then Humanoid with two fantastic scatter the weeks here. This play's not over though. Double teleports through. Okay, a party's happening.
They've seen one. Tally's going to charge up the taunt, but he's going to try and get a different target. Shadow going to be the one. Tally, no, it's Raes that gets the dragon, and now he's going to start shooting down the duo lane. Oh, he gets one in the air. Oh, Kaiser last bullet. It's not enough. It does hit him, but Orome to the rescue to try and tank it up.
Legacy will not give up on this game. They got the dragon. A sick flash there from the Jhin to secure the dragon. Lillia did not have smite. She got picked off on the side. And now Legacy gets to crash these waves. What started off as their engage ends up finishing as their objective win.
Yeah, two very valuable TPs there for Legacy. As we'll watch this one again. This is the fight, yeah.
So sick. So, unfortunately, the Syndra's not here. So you've got the Ezreal and the Shen who can both dash out, and the Lillia flashes. So then the Scatter the Weeks come out. The Nautilus procs the Aftershock. He gets to live through all this, has a Spirit's Refuge from the Shen to walk out. And then they have the Control Ward there on the side. So Legacy just did not know where the Syndra was coming from, and that's when we would have loved to see the engage. Then here, the Lillia gets picked off. Doesn't have smite anyways, and then Jhin sees a great opportunity to steal this. I love that call out of him to flash out for it. Unfortunately, the blast count not able to keep the Ezreal alive, but that's just a highlight reel out of Jhin.
Yeah, what a snipe there from Raes. As Topoon has swapped himself down to the bottom half of the map, there's 3 members of the Mad Lions currently near this tower, and Topoon, he knows this, so he's going to leave.
This team is getting Herald in the top set, and they're also crashing the wave. So this is the classic top laner. Don't get greedy. Your team is doing something, but he just might be away, and he'll be fine. He's got a ton of magic resist.
Yeah, he wanted to clear the wave, I think, with that ulti, or at least deter the incoming dive. Regardless, doesn't get himself caught. Tower goes down in top lane for Tally. Rift Herald gets given over to Babip, who still has it, so did not drop it top. Is probably going to drop it mid here to pick up even more gold. Legacy actually up 3,000 gold right now as they take down those towers, but Humanoid are going to even that back up a little bit. Looking about 2k up now for Legacy after the bottom outer tower falls.
Yeah, Legacy still has a Rift Herald as well. I think they're probably going to use it around mid lane for this next dragon. They've been playing a dragon-focused game thus far, trying to avoid the Shen stand united to get outnumbered. So if we follow their train of thought, which has been so objective-focused, so focused around these wombo combos, you can anticipate that the Rift Herald's gonna be used around mid lane in order to buy more time to clear out that vision. I think had they had better vision on that last fight, they would have seen the opportunity to engage onto the Syndra instead and then find the combo there, because again, they have now learned the harsh lesson that Shen and Ezreal are really tricky to pin down.
Top lane, here comes Tally in onto Orome. Babip here as well, ready to shoot him down. And Raes even in the area for a potential ulti, but Smokescreen's not enough of a slow to continue the chase onto the Shen.
And not the guy to want to be focusing right now. Shen's is going to have a swell time here against both Ornn and the Galio, having great wave clear. He'll just respect that his team is not ready to follow him up, so he'll let Galio crash the wave. He'll wait until the Graves shows up before he can creep up and start autoing attacking with the Hydra. Just such a heavy focus on high damage because Shen does percent damage on his Q. He does quite a bit. So the fact that he can build this heavy AD build and still be a reliable tank for a team has made him such an important pick for many teams.
Well, hear a lot from about Legacy in that even though your Topoon often gets an advantage, Babip's a very good aggressive jungler that's really good in this meta with these, farming style junglers that want to be a bit more aggressive. It's often Raes that gets brought up in the mid to late game to carry the game, and he's set up. In fact, both these AD carries are going to be equipped for the next incoming battles. There's going to be an Ocean Dragon up in a minute 5 that the teams want to fight for, and RFC is now done for Raes as well, and he's gone for Infinity Edge first for like maximum gold spending into power.
There's a lot of squishies on the side of Mad Lions. They do not want to be hit by Jin's 4th shot, so this is why they took the Jhin early, knowing that he was going to have a fine time. Humanoid has flash.
He does have flash.
It's fine.
Oh, nice angle.
Oh, they use Shen ultimate as well. Uh-oh.
It's also sleepy, so there's Lillia ulti as well.
Oh, that means no Shen ultimate for the dragon fight. That is a miscommunication there out of Mad Lions. The Syndra could have always disengaged out of that when worst comes to worst. So now they're not going to have that ultimate. That means Shen's going to have to be grouped up of fighting for this control ward. Watch the Alistar. Who's he looking at? There's all summoners available now for both teams. So LGC have to keep in mind that if they can still find that combo, it has to be on the right targets. They can't avoid or they can't afford to have the engage go on to champions that can just dash out or flash away, and now you have no tools to re-engage.
Yeah, tower drop mid as well, so Legacy are going to get the tower. Queen's ulti cooling down, but not there just yet. Kaiser with a decent little engage to start things off, but Legacy are just going to eat the poke and walk away.
There's no Lillia ultimate either, and Nautilus used his as well. I think that Mad Lions just don't have the tools to take this fight. I know Ornn does not have his ultimate here, and they're trying to poke away with the Ezreal and the Lillia, but the ultimate disadvantage could prove to be the thing that turns the tide for Legacy here. Still biding their time, letting Mad Lions come into the mix, letting Galio come in from the wayside. Here we go. He pops a Predator looking for the Shen.
It's a taunt onto Orome only, but they're going to keep fighting it out. The Dragon, though, has been leeched by Legacy, and Shadow's ulti is back up after all the time that's passed. So he's trying to chuck Swell Seeds in, but Legacy just want to finish this objective if they can. But there we go. Isles in again, gets the double knockup. Dragon goes over to Babip, and there's the knockup follow-up there as the Alistar does get the knockup. But now the triple drowsy there. What a sleep there for Shadow. Here comes the Ornn. He does get it there onto Shadow as he is going to get killed with not being able to get Babip or Topoon. And now Raes in there, but he face checks everyone and gets blown up by Humanoid. So at the end of it all, it's a Dragon for one kill for Legacy as 2 of them fall.
I think that's a team fight win for Mad for sure, but Legacy get the Dragon. They are now on Soul Point. They can ensure themselves to have a nice fight moving forward. Let's see how this played out, because the poke was really good for Mad Lions, but then look at the engage from Legacy. Who do they go on? It catches the tanks. There's nobody in range to actually hit the carry. So yes, Galio finds a nice taunt here, but the Ezreal and the Lillia are untouched. A really sick sleep here. You'd think there was enough damage there to take out the Jhin and the Graves, but there just was not. It was so close. It looked so tempting there out of Lillia, but it's a 1-4 Lillia. She hasn't been having a great game. Just a little bit more gold, a little bit less dying, and would have likely turned that into just a triple kill and maybe even a Baron out of that play.
Yeah, Topoon had the alarm set for that one. Woke up right on time to knock up Shadow there with the ulti. As I do appreciate the aggression from Raes, trying to flash in to get the last hit onto Humanoid, but was not to be, despite how strong he is currently. Legacy still up a couple thousand gold, which is nice, but Mad Lions looking to take down another tower for themselves and look to equalize that gold lead. So it kind of just feels like this Ocean Soul, the big current benefit that Legacy have, and they haven't gotten the soul yet. Crumbs are going to be able to collect it in 3 minutes and 15 seconds. Will force Mad Lions to fight them once again at the objective, but they are going to get the inside track here onto mid and push down the tier 2 nice and easily. No answer here from Mad Lions.
Nobody was there. A teleport trying to catch out Humanoid. They don't know that he has, well, they know that he doesn't have
Syndra.
flash, and they're just gonna flank him. Let's see if Alistar gets interrupted here. Topoon's looking for the E.
Not even
Shen
gonna ulti.
ultimate
There's
is
the
here.
ulti. Smoke screen down. Humanoid gonna get knocked up. Finds two, actually tallying with a taunt. A massive taunt as well. So Babip's gonna get the shutdown. Here comes the Galio ulti on top of it as Raes has already taken down Shadow again. That fawn is just so squishy.
They can go for Baron here. Let's see if Carzzy can turn this around. If Mad Lions needs a hero, it's the Ezreal right now, because LGC can turn for this Baron and at the very least bait it. You've got the Honeydew to heal up. The Jhin and the Galio are going to be able to just sit here and look for a way to turn with the taunt and the root. A TP is through. Look at Alistar looking for a flank.
Gonna look for it, gets the double knockup as well. The root from Jhin is good. They're gonna get the pick here. Carzzy, he's gonna take down Isles, but Orome is trying to take down Raes. The damage is massive. The Baron with the assist as Orome is gonna prevent Legacy from taking the objective.
It felt like Mad Lions going for the flank completely caught Legacy off guard. They were looking for the engage and didn't realize that the Shen was going to hit the backline and eliminate the Jhin. The Ezreal was able to shift away just at the nick of time away from the Alistar, who didn't have the ultimate, who just got picked off right away. And Mad Lions survives the whole fiasco here. We're going to look at this once again. Pops the phase rush, so he's able to walk so far here. And then the nice flash taunt here. The Spirit's Refuge does a fine job in buying some time here. But Ezreal was just able to stay out DPSing the Alistar, keeping him very low, and then chasing at the end of the day. Now, this is where the Rift Scuttler proves to be so valuable in vision for Mad Lions. They know what's happening, they know they're going to be able to move out, and that at least LGC is not going to have the speed up, and then the Shen surprises them, because if Shen wasn't there, this could have been a very different look for Legacy there. The Baron still leashed onto him, unfortunately takes him out, but you see that this is not really your average tank. This Shen can assassinate a Jhin.
Yeah, Orome is like Ray's worst nightmare at the moment. You know, Titanic and this Randuin's Omen, like, it's so tough for Jhin to do anything when Shen's able to flank like that. And unfortunately for Raes, the rest of his team is trying to kill the people he was looking to snare with his W. So great timing on the flank there for Orome to save that Baron and keep Mad Lions close to in gold, which is something they need right now. They also need to prevent this Ocean Soul from going down. 35 seconds until that dragon is up and available. Raes has 3 items now. Storm Razor is completed. Molten Edge is upgraded. Legacy are ready to scuffle here around this objective.
Legacy need to keep their tanks healthy. They can't afford to take that much poke from the Ezreal, from the Lillia, and even the Syndra. They have to allow Jhin and the Graves to do all the damage here. Keep them at bay. Don't trade HP for HP, because it's so important that your tanks are healthy in order to continue to provide the crowd control that allows the carries to step up and deal their damage. Alistar is looking for a flank. Is just going to catch out this ward, but I don't think he actually has enough time on the sweeper to kill it. Yeah, the ward lives, so now they know TP is here. They see where Shen is at.
They check the brush, but that's all the vision basically turned off now for Legacy. They can't see this river at all as Orome is going to slap down that ward. Oh, great interrupt there for Humanoid. Prevents Topoon from pushing that ram into his team.
Ambitious. No Ornn ultimate now makes this Ocean Soul so much harder. And they know where Alistar is coming from. This looks like a fight that Legacy will just have to concede here. They don't have a way in. They don't have any vision. The flanks have all been sniffed out. Mad Lions just calm and collected. Diffuse the engage from Legacy.
Yeah, really well played. That was a much needed reprieve from a fight they maybe didn't want to take. 5 minutes now until that Ocean Soul Dragon will be back up and available for Legacy. And Mad, not done. Gonna look to shove down mid here, and that tower will be forfeit. No real way for Legacy to wave clear safely. So Mad Lions getting more room here. Great news for the Shen, certainly.
Have to keep kiting here, looking for the Galio. They can put him to sleep. Yes, they
Carzzy
will.
is Tally. Into stasis he goes. Babip to the rescue. Shadow gets out of there.
She's so fast, this Lillia champion. It's so hard to know what her range is, too. It always feels like she's just out of yours and barely hitting you with her spells. Very frustrating to deal with, despite her being 1 and 5.
Yep, spinning that branch, making life miserable. Topoon is hammering away at the top lane tier 2. Will get it. Keeps Legacy at about that 3,000 gold lead, but they've been here for a while. Kind of the lead they had built was basically made to parlay into either the Baron that they didn't quite get thanks to Orome's great teleport, and the Ocean Soul they weren't able to get thanks to Mad's great vision and team
Alistar?
coordination. Ooh, Isles face checking. Pops the ulti. Humanoid's the target. He does have flash though, and that's not recommended. Isle's going to have to flash out himself.
Oh, then losing that flash on Alistar is such a big deal. He's
Just
gonna
dead.
die.
Yeah, Carzzy, really nice play. Unfortunate, I think Isle's just too ahead of his team there, and that Wee's going to give pressure over to Mad for this Baron. Legacy know it, they have to stick around, but they don't really have any lanes pushed to do it with. Tally's looking for a TP here. Are they thinking about a 4v5?
Well, if they'd have to take it if Mad Lions is going to pressure the Baron here. They have a lot of control wards, a lot of vision, and percentage HP. Double Leandry's there from the mages. They have to respect this Baron. They have to assume that it can be taken down, and there's no Scryers here. Graves is healing up. Will they drop some vision over? They need vision. They hook the Ornn.
Topoon does
Galio.
not eat the taunt. There's Tally, finds a 3-man taunt. Damage is there. Humanoid gets destroyed. There's Legacy looking for the re-engage. Topoon in onto Shadow as he's going to finish him off. There's Galio over the top as well. Shadow is dead, and Raes is going to kite it out and take down the Nautilus. Now Orome in a 1v4. He did it last time. Can he do it again? Trying to rescue the team, but he's going to get slapped down and shut down as Tally's going to take out the Shen.
Legacy turned the 4v5. Alistar not needed. Ooh.
Carzzy is really, really scary, and he's going to be put to rest finally.
Dead.
The final kill they needed, the shutdown for Topoon, and that's going to give Legacy the ace and the Baron.
Support difference there. The Alistar just doesn't have to be in the fight, clearly, because Legacy can 4v5 their way onto a team fight win, and the Baron pastry. They have just turned this around. What looked to be Mad Lions clawing their way back, not letting Legacy get ahead of themselves with the dragons and with the gold, has now just turned completely there. Ornn, great stopwatch there, buys enough time. Did not think that the Galio was going to come in from the backline. They were so tunneled on the Ornn that the teleport was so sneaky with the Predator boots as well, and then it was all too easy that Syndra didn't even get to use her ultimate, and so now it's only the Ezreal left who is trying to do his darndest to win these fights, but some great flashes there out of Legacy prevent him from taking anybody down, and now this Baron will surely get chained into the Ocean Soul that Legacy so desperately wants.
Yeah, Raes weaved in and out of that fight so nicely as well, but it is the two soul laners that come up big there for Legacy. Topoon and Tally find the angle to give them this Baron, and they're still going. Tally looking aggressive, finds a taunt onto Kaiser, pops the stone plate, gonna try and live, but Babip is over the top. He wants blood as Carzzy cannot be caught, but here's Topoon, gonna try and find it, but he doesn't quite get it. Instead, the collateral damage is indeed gonna give Tally the kill onto the Ezreal, and Legacy looking to barrel down mid at this point.
Lillia just keeps getting caught. She is 1 and 6, and Legacy have no hesitation in picking on her. They have the Hex Flash from the Alistar getting real close.
Humanoid,
the root.
That's not it. Here's the Jhin ulti. See you later. Syndra flashes out of the way. The last bullet. He jukes them all, and he is going to live. Had the flash after all as Topoon is going to tank up quite a lot, but they take down the tower. Still not done a Legacy. They're trying to finish off this inhib, and they will be able to do it. 35 seconds until that dragon is up and available, but Tally, he's splitting bot now as well, continuing to mount pressure for OCE.
They have the Baron recalls if they need it. It looks like they're going to linger around the red side, not willing to let Mad Lions re-enter here, and they know they have vision. It's going to be up to Mad Lions, Scryer, Zorb, the Ezreal, and the Lillia to check every single brush, but they don't have enough time. They don't know what Legacy is up to right now. The one control ward will at least see the tanks. They don't know where Graves and Jhin are. As far as they know, they could be at the dragon. They see the fight.
Has to hit a trap. He doesn't have Stoneplate. He's going to get blown up. It's Babip that gets it. Now Isles over the top finds Shadow. Going to keep the jungler out of the equation. Orome also can't tank everything. Topoon finds another ulti and onto Humanoid. And Humanoid this time absolutely has no flash as the collateral damage is going to clip him. That's going to be a kill for Topoon as Carzzy takes down Raes to try and keep Mad Lions in a Raze's face. Says it all in the player cam.
Shadow's doing a good job at least distracting, going into the mid lane, cutting off the wave, not willing to give Legacy a chance at potentially ending the game. They're going to take the consolation prize, if you will, of getting the Ocean Soul here. But now Mad Lions have to deal with a ton of healing on the side of Legacy, and there is no grievous wounds now. It's gonna get really tough from this point on. Legacy have got the objectives that they win, and Mad Lions had to come in here, right? You don't want to give up this Ocean Soul just yet, but Legacy was very ready, very prepared to re-engage, and they have just enough damage now to eliminate the tanks and then move on to the carries.
I mean, look at Carzzy's 1v1 here. Very well played from this Ezreal.
This is the shining light on Mad Lions if there is one to be had in this game. But they're looking to have a really rough time in this group moving forward, Pastry. They're going to end up 1-3 if they lose this game.
Yeah, looking rough for Mad Lions right now. They're down about 8,000 gold. They don't have an Ocean Soul. Legacy don't have a Baron anymore, but they'll have another shot at one in 2 minutes and 25 seconds. Mid inhibitor is having super minions stream down here. It is all lining up for Legacy to take their second win in this group and keep their chances strong to get a shot at the main stage of Worlds.
2-1 is a great start there to their group stage run, especially as the teams are easing off of their nerves, regaining the confidence to be flashing forward, to making the plays that they know they've done before, to punish their opponents when they step out of bounds. And now that you've got the Ocean Soul and so many tanky members, it gets so much more value than other dragons because you are guaranteed to live longer in these fights, and obviously the longer you live, the more value you get out of the Ocean Soul.
Yep, Legacy only need one more fight. Mad Lions gonna have to hold the line here at their base, but the top lane inhibitor tower is currently in danger.
There is good wave clear here on the side of Mad, and they've got everybody here in the top lane, so this wave should not crash and nobody should be hitting it. So I think that Mad Lions will just look to defend here and not let Galio get in range. Yep, not a single auto attack onto this turret.
Yep, wave dead. Super minions now crashing into mid. Swell Seed is not going to hit Tally. Again, the poke here is good between the Syndra and the Ezreal and the Lillia. Plenty of tools for Mad Lions to keep Legacy at bay, but it has been the engage angles right for Legacy. The full-on 5v5s where Topoon and Tally are just ripping into the team alongside Isles. That's been the undoing so far of Mad Lions.
That focus on the 5v5s out of Legacy is what prevents them from actually pushing deeper when they have these inhibitor advantages. There's nobody that can really be that 1v1 threat in the super minion wave, so they have to wait for the objective. It's going to be 30 seconds onto the Baron. They have to fight this one real quick because the last thing you want is to have a fight over the Elder Dragon. That is the opportunity that Mad Lions can have to win this game. They're still in it despite the gold and dragon disadvantage. Elder Dragon can always turn the tides of any fight.
Well, no vision really anywhere around this Baron right now because teams have been out on the map for so long pushing towards the Mad Lions base. But Legacy are now going to get those wards down, try and sweep out a bit of vision. Topoon is on the only ward in this area currently for Mad Lions.
Double Scryers on the side of Mad Lions, and we'll have the Ezreal ultimate soon enough. So let's see what Legacy chooses to do around this Baron. They're going to rush it. They have enough sustain here. No Scryers used just yet. There it is. They see what's happening. What is the position of the Alistar? Look at him. They don't know where he's at.
Watch
He's in the
Tally
control
too.
ward.
He's looking for a TP angle. Isles pops the ulti, looking for go in there. Here's Topoon getting the ulti down, gets a good two-man knocker, but here's Tally. Back around the side. Humanoid's gonna have to get out of there. Tally can't quite get in as Isles is low, but he's not out just yet as Mad Lions trying to kill these tanks. But Tally kills Humanoid. It's Carzzy now. He's a lockdown, but Tally once again finds the taunt. There's the double kill as Isles will finally fall. But Legacy is still trying to finish up the job as Carzzy's being such a nuisance as Kaiser, his lane mate, will fall down.
I think that's it, Pastry. Mad Lions trying to cut the minion wave, but the Jhin is already topside. It looks like they might have actually stalled enough to stay in the game, but they will still lose an inhibitor.
Topoon is just going to try and make Carzzy's life miserable here. Oh, Galio's getting in there. Oh, see you later. Carzzy does so much damage. And now they blow through the top side. The TP's in. Legacy know they can end the game right here and now. It's only Orome to defend with 15 seconds left on two teammates, and I don't think he can do it by himself. He's kept him in the game as best he can with the Shen plays, but Legacy are going to knock down yet another Nexus and push themselves to 2-1.
Tally was such a hero in some of the most important fights in this game. The Galio finds the flank, taunts the Syndra, and deletes her instantly. Humanoid got target banned, 3 bans of the first rotation towards him, yet the Galio was still able to ensure that Humanoid was deleted, and without him, the rest of Mad Lions were unable to find any teamfight wins.
Legacy will take him out and keep the chances looking strong. Mad Lions drop to 1-3. Legacy with one more game left to play, 2-1. Supermassive. Their final opponent, if I recall correctly. And Tally, what a performance. The top laner that swapped to mid this year, if I'm remembering my OPL history properly. But a player that has played for so long, and you can kind of see that poise there in this game. That 4v5 at Baron was absolutely wild.
That's been his marquee play this Worlds. The fact that he comes from the top lane, top lane's mentality is look for flanks, look for angles to surprise your opponent. Already we saw the set play, catching out on Ezreal in some of the Legacy earlier games, and now it was the Galio looking for the Syndra, identifying the key targets and setting up fights for his team is something that Tally is clearly doing a very good job of and allowing the carries to then DPS freely, knowing that there's no major threats to deal with.
Yep, they were here for Teamfight, and Teamfight, they played very well as Legacy pick up yet another win here at Worlds 2020. Make sure to head to the hub on Spotify, though, for all of the League of Legends action. It's all in one place. You can check out the sounds of the League, the League of Legends playlist, and podcasts, including teasers for Untold Stories, a new exclusive podcast that's coming this October. We're stepping away as we go. We'll listen to this week's Sounds of the Game, presented by Bose, which followed the Unicorns of Love's tumultuous tiebreaker day.
Я танчу. Саленс по тилю. Волик почти мертв. Волик мертв. Окей, сейчас разъебем файт. Немножко. У Сайленса ульта. У меня стопова есть еще. Я иду направо. Го фокус Сайленса. Фокус Сайленса. Сайленс. Сейчас комба 2. Застанил его. Даю комбу. Добью. Окей. Ебать, гад. На шор. Да, на шор. Блядь, какой хуёвый это так обидно. А, на гуджоп. Да, гуджоп.
Hello everyone, I'm Eefje Sjoggsdepoortere. Alongside some other faces you may recognize, I'm very excited to host MasterCard's Clicks of the Decade, where we will count down the top plays from 10 years of international League of Legends.
Kaiser Shockwave! The quadra kill for Hootie! And that is the miracle play that keeps CLG alive!
So make sure you follow at MasterCard Nexus on Twitter so you don't miss the first episode.
Born free as the wind blows, as free as the grass grows, born free to follow your heart. Live free and beauty surrounds you.
Axe. Smell ready.
can't get tired of saying it. Welcome back to Worlds 2020. We did just see Legacy shock the Mad Lions, so let's be sure to check out their Mercedes drive to victory. It was an infernal Drake steal from Raes. I've got myself amazing in Yamato. The voice is over the clip, but this was quite the steal to finish and seal the deal. Yeah,
especially coming in with double TP after a lost team fight initially, like flanked from both sides, taking out Shadow and making sure that that Drake is successful. And he even flashes in to get the last hit, gets the bounce on the Ezreal, and now tries to even shoot him down.
Honestly, I could say things, but I don't see so well from here. We have a replay over here too.
Do you need my glasses?
Probably. I need to update my lenses. So amazing. Take it away. Go. Fly.
So here with the squint strategy. Not going to get him too far. But you did watch the game and a little closer to the screen, and you can echo the sentiments that was kind of the final hurdle for LGC.
Yeah, for sure. Like after that steal, you begin to realize that the enemy composition is just gonna get outscaled because they can just buy magic resistance over and over. And after that composition, the Mad Lions has kind of falls off. They run out of fume, and boom, Legacy delivered with their team fighting.
Yeah, and I need to have a conversation with you guys at the desk about Bambi and this ridiculous amount of failed deers we've seen. The Lillia continues to fall flat. But before we get into INTZ versus Team Liquid, let's check in with Law and Babip.
And thank you very much, Machine. A win here for Oceania, and I have Babip with me to talk about the game, because with this one you avoid elimination. How do you feel right now?
I think that was a really, really huge win for us, and I'm glad with the level of play that we played at.
Yeah, that was a super cool game from you guys, and I mean, you played aggressive and often put Mad Lions in situations in which they could not even fight. So talk me through the necessary steps to get there and lock the game into your hands with the composition you had.
I think that the comp that we played is very, very comfortable for us. So I feel like everyone just knew what they needed to do in the game. And yeah, I mean, when we first started scrimming at Worlds, we realized that we needed to be a lot more aggressive, and we wouldn't be able to just play by giving everything and, you know, just never fighting and just scaling. So yeah, I think that, yeah.
Yeah, it's a super cool level of play, and the aggressiveness here from Legacy Esports is really interesting to see. But I want to ask about the composition from Mad Lions, because they were playing Lillia here, and it's a champion that hasn't been that successful at Worlds so far. So what do you think about Lillia at all and at Worlds so far?
I think along with the other super strong AP junglers, Lillia's probably the best, honestly. The amount of control and team fighting ability that she has is actually pretty much unmatched by everything else. So I'm not sure why it's doing poorly at Worlds, but I guess because you kind of need to have a less aggressive game because she's not as good in those early skirmishes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think she's still probably one of the strongest champions here. So yeah.
Okay, good to keep in mind, because the community seems to have a different opinion on the champ. But I mean, you know best, of course. But focusing on Legacy Esports here, you still have one game left to play at the end of the day against Supermassive. How do you expect this one to go?
I think that obviously because it's best of one, I think the underdog team can always take games. So I mean, I think that the skill discrepancy has to be very, very big in best of one to just say for sure what team is going to win. So I think we have a decent chance versus most teams in this group. So I'm expecting to play well and play confidently and win.
And I wish you the best of luck in this last game, Babip. Thank you very much for the interview.
Thank you.
And we're going to take a short break, and we'll come back in a few minutes for Team Liquid versus INTZ. Stay tuned.
Best of one, round robin, single round robin. You play each other team one time. Don't hold back on the secrets. Don't hold back on the tricks. Don't hold back on the top lane Urgot, because it just might be the thing that catches your opponents by surprise.
Greatness accepts no lag, no delay, no excuses. It lives in the tiny space between milliseconds and nanoseconds, between memes and legends, between tears and tears, And when margins that small make an impact this big, nothing less than the speed and dependability of the Cisco network will do.